Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's a cold, kind of a dark, dreary day outside today, and freezing rain. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. So, here is what I wanted to share with you today. Um, Relationships, and I'll explain um, what does that mean. So, when we are in isolation or by ourselves, certain things can remind us, trigger us, but nothing can trigger what's sitting unresolved in our inner psyche than our relationships, especially the close relationships. So many times in relationships, we get stuck in a dynamic or we get stuck in our own way of thinking. And when we are, by the way, if you are watching this from my Ayurvedic Healing Center page, if you send me a comment, I'm only able to see that comment, but I would love to hear from you and let me know where you're watching from. So, relationships are a great way for us to get triggered, or for us to not even get triggered, for us to be able to see. We can also see wonderful things in the external world, and that art and in our relationship, and that also is mirroring the vibration or the what we are holding inside. So what I was talking about is that in relationships we can get stuck in moving forward. Everyone sees what they see from their own perspective, and we can wait and argue or trying to show others what we experience or the extent or the depth of our pain or our hurt. They may see it, they may not see it, because how we perceive other people's behavior is very different from their realization or their perception of their behavior. So, what to do when we get stuck in this dynamic? Number one, it is important to realize that whatever we feel is really what we feel is our own responsibility. So, if we can sit through the feeling, which can be very intense and painful, and it can last as long as it needs to last, the quicker we feel everything there is to feel, the quicker we will move through that feeling. But if we resist feeling and trying to put a mental buffering over what we feel, like, oh, maybe it's not like that, maybe I'm overthinking, maybe I'm second guessing, these things are useful. But at the end of the day, we do have to get in touch with what is the raw feeling that you are experiencing. It's not to make yourself right or wrong, but it is to feel deeply what you feel. So that feeling, your experience, is very independent of the person who is in the equation here, for them to acknowledge every little thing, accept every little thing, and then apologize to you everything and make it right. That would be ideal, but it seldom happens. Just like, because I explained, we receive things from our own perception and we do things from our own perception. So the trick is for you to process the experiences within your own inner world, whether it involves being really angry, talking to somebody, journaling, going deep into the whole event or what had happened. Whatever you need to do, whether you are not able to fall asleep because you are just so deep in that, I promise you that if you give yourself a chance to just surrender to what you're feeling and just be with it, it's going to pass. When we feel better, we are able to see the other person's explanation or whatever they thought with ease. But if we get stuck on that, the only way I'm going to move through this, if the other person does, acknowledge, accept, cleans it all up and apologizes, then we are stuck. It really does not happen. So what I have noticed is, relationship, there's so much energy exchange happening. In relationships, they come together, they fall apart. They really don't get worked out. What happens really is that we move beyond them. We grow out of them. We grow out of the conflict. And the only way to do that is when we go deeply within and feel what we feel so we can clean up the old vibration, so we can replace it with the new vibration. We can feel lighter, the energy becomes freer, clearer, and then we are in a different vibrational place. When you are in that place, you're not waiting for the other person to do something for you to feel better, because you have done your inner work. And then we just kind of let others off the hook. When we let others off the hook, they actually, the defenses are down. They can actually go back and think like, oh yeah, maybe they are in a better place to come back to you, or to acknowledge, or to offer you what it is that you wanted from them in the first place. So it is to process the feelings within yourself and let go of the other person. Once you feel better, you'll be able to think better and see better. And the second thing I wanted to talk about is, where does self-care become selfish? So we are navigating this world of self-care. There's so much talk about self-care, the self, and whatnot. On the other hand, we are talking about compassion, compassion, compassion. So we are there. These opposite ends, the kind of compassion for others, compassion for yourself, and then there's self-care. Is there selfish? It's a fine line, right? And there's not a fast rule about it. It's rather a place of self exploration and noticing what feels right. So, this question came up with one of my clients. So I thought, like, what from my understanding is when self care becomes hurtful to others. An example is if in a relationship conflict, you don't want to talk to the other person. You feel like if you hold out long enough, they will cave in, they will make everything right for you, they'll understand you more. But really, it does not happen. What they may understand that, oh, you're really, really upset. They still don't understand why. But on the other hand, they're sitting there thinking and waiting to hear from you, and they're getting hurt. So, at what point do you let go of wanting someone to change because of you? I think the earlier we do that, the better it is for everyone involved. So when your self-care, so the self-care may be like boundaries. No, I'm not going to talk until I'm done with this. I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z until this happens. But on the other hand, it is hurting someone. So what will it take out of, it's really the ego talking. Because communication can happen anytime. Communication does not mean that you're okay with whatever is happening. It just means that you are letting the other person in the know, so nobody is confused. Miscommunication and actually non-communication is the most painful. Non-engagement is the most painful. So even if you don't want to talk, you can say, look, I know you want to talk to me, but I need this time. Okay, we will resolve this, but give me this 1 day or give me 2 days. But just to, kind of ghost somebody, it's very, very painful. So when your boundaries begin to hurt someone because you have not clearly communicated, then that may be teeter on, being selfish, because you're thinking about yourself, which is great, but we don't live in isolation. We don't live on an island. We do need to think about other people, because we are in relationship with the other. Our relationship with ourselves is reflected in our relationship with others. So communication is key. And compassion comes from going deep within and understanding the makings of your own psyche. It can be complex. Then if you can hold a place of compassion for yourself, then it's like you don't know what the other person is feeling. You don't know how the other person did what they did, or the state of mind they are in. So it's really evaluating and opening yourself to navigate this space with mindfulness, with heartfulness, instead of a solid black and white rule, because there's no such rule. There's no rule that says these things are self-care are good, these things are not. This is where you be compassionate, this is where you're not. No, it is, we never want to be on the extreme. Okay, we never want to have boundaries that are walls. We have to understand, is it a boundary or is it a wall? For me, a boundary is something there's room for adjustment, flexibility, and we're willing to converse. The point of the conflict with another individual is for us to see ourselves a little bit deeper and for us to evolve and grow and get a bigger perspective. Because my perspective alone is not the complete picture. Other people's perspective is what completes the picture. So compassion for yourself, compassion for others, and no amount of self-care really needs to bring pain to others. So that's where you don't get set on, don't get, the ego says my way or the highway. Please realize that. Drop into the heart. The heart wants to unite. It wants, you have a heart for yourself, and you really don't want to bring pain to yourself or to others. When you understand what brings pain to you, how it makes you feel, it's very easy to understand what brings pain to the others. So in this time of holidays, when we are around people, we are going to get triggered. If you're getting triggered, tune into what is it that's evoking in you. What is your experience? The focus shifted from what she did, he did. What did you feel? Because that's where your power lies. We can check others people's behavior by what they did, but we really don't know their state of mind or from what perspective or from what they were thinking all the way. And the truth is, we want other people to know us, understand us, put a stamp of approval. Understand yourself. It's very hard. Nobody's going to get you completely. Watching this video, if 10 people watched it, they're going to have a different experience of it. Although I'm saying the same thing to the 10 people, because we are all unique. We have all a different filter of our, experiences that have shaped our thinking, that have created this filter that we bring everything through. So again, the work really is about you. It's really about going deep within. What triggers you? What experiences do you have? Can you open your heart to yourself? Can you be strong enough to feel the pain? Can you be strong enough to fall apart? Can you let go of all the control and sometimes let the shit hit the fan? We don't need to control everything. We don't need to worry about everything. If that's how you're feeling in a relationship, you need to have a powwow, then have it. Stop freaking out about it. Then let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Say what you need to say. Say your piece. Keeping a lid on things is only going to make things uglier. So there's tools of communication is always calm, loving, talk about you, less finger pointing, more reflection, more speaking from you. So if we can love ourselves with ease, we can love others with ease. We don't have to agree with others. We don't even have to like them. But we have to understand that they are in this human journey just like we are. So that's the message for today, and I hope that it was helpful. If it was, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel. And we're going to be going deep into this type of work and healing in my mentorship program that begins in February. I'm going to provide the link for you in the description box. And also there are other things happening in 2023. We're going to be doing some workshops around emotional healing and creating daily habits, just a little foundational classes in the month of January, so you can feel strong, you can feel equipped with handling your New Year resolutions, getting healthier, getting happier. And if you are looking to give somebody the gift of health and healing, so many people need that. I have created some offers for you, and the link will be in the description box. And again, thank you so much for tuning in today. I would look forward to seeing you next time. Have a lovely evening. Take care.